Out there? How much of a couple of second delay does it take to get all of these re-streaming apps coordinated? Yes, that was me stalling for time. My name's Brian Engelman, and this is Monday, November 13th, 2023. And this is Victory Monday for the Cleveland Browns. Yes, we went into Baltimore and we defeated those dirty little rat birds. Those dirty little rat birds. If you're watching this on the New American Media, please be aware that we don't just cover current events and breaking news and politics. We also have a sports show called the Agree to Disagree Show, and you have found yourself here today if you are seeing this streamed on our YouTube channel or on our Twitter feed. So if this isn't for you, you could say goodbye, but this is going to be a show dedicated to the Cleveland Browns beating the team that stole our team back in 1996. This is payback, and it feels personal right now. So if you have any comments, please leave your comments in the private group on Facebook as I mute this right here. But please leave your comments. I would love to interact with you. The Cleveland Browns really took it to them, but this has been a really strange game against the Ravens. I want to walk you through some of what we saw. The game was pretty much out of control from the get-go. Deshaun Watson had a quick interception return by Kyle Hamilton, jumped up, smacked the ball at the line of scrimmage, bounced up, caught it, ran in. Actually, he walked in. A quick 7-0 deficit. Then after a Keaton Mitchell 39-yard run, Browns find themselves trailing 14-0 right off the bat. Browns drove down 10 plays, 49 yards, leading to a Dustin Hopkins field goal. That was, of course, negated about 4 minutes later with Justin Tucker with another 37-yard field goal. Browns are still 14 points down after the end of the first. In the second quarter, nothing from the Baltimore Ravens. The Browns defense calmed down, unlike me right now, trying to bring you the energy. Leave your comments, by the way, if you'd like me to participate and work your comments into the program. But yeah, the Browns had a 12-play, 70-yard drive, stalled out. Dustin Hopkins hit a 28-yarder, cutting the lead 17-6. Then with about a minute left, the Browns got a 6-play, 33-yard drive, culminating in a Dustin Hopkins 23-yard field goal, 17-9. So after what felt like getting our butts whooped, handed to us for the whole first half, we found ourselves trailing only by 8 points. That's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away. That's not the worst, given how poorly we stumbled out of the gate. We really have to find a way. You know, it's been said that a lot of coaches, they script their first, I don't know, 8 plays, 10 plays, 12 plays, 15 plays, 20 plays, pick your number. But it's been said that the coaching staff practices these scripted plays in practice enough so they'll come out in the first quarter and they look great in the first quarter, then the wheels come off. We're the opposite. It's like we come out in the first quarter, we got a little bit of nothing, really. So we really have to, if we're going to compete for the Super Bowl this year, and by the way, we've been in our Super Bowl window for 3 years now with Baker Mayfield, with Deshaun Watson. And look, if we had gotten rid of Cade York, I know we tried to address the issue with Cade York as a rookie last year, started his career off great, stealing that comeback win from Baker Mayfield against Carolina Panthers at the beginning of the season. But after that, the wheels kind of fell off for Cade York. But if we had competent special teams, there wasn't muffing punts and missing field goals and all sorts of horrors. And if we had a decent defense, if we would have fired Joe Woods 3 years ago, we would have been a playoff team every one of the past 3 years. If we would have stayed with Jacoby Brissett last year instead of switching to Watson, we would have probably made it to the playoffs. But of course, we're not competing for short term. We're trying to get Watson back to the player that we hoped he was, that we evaluated when he played down for the Houston Texans. We gave up 3 first-round picks, a bunch of other picks, $230 million fully guaranteed, and really split our fan base in half with our treatment of Baker freaking Mayfield. So, of course, last year we had to get Deshaun Watson up to speed. That meant sacrificing his learning curve for Jacoby Brissett, who would, he settled in. He was doing enough to win games, but unfortunately Joe Woods was not. And that really kind of has been the story with Baker down in Tampa. I posed the question in the Unhappy Hour group, just for a fun thought experiment, and leave your comments below. If the Cleveland Browns have to play one of 2 opposing teams and opposing quarterbacks this year in the Super Bowl, envision us in the Super Bowl. Would you rather play Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings or Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Who would you rather face and why? Let me share the screen with you real quick, and I will share the screen on a couple of points coming up. I'm probably just going to scroll through our Facebook feed because there's so many great memes and so many things I want to discuss with you. But take a look at this real quick. On the left hand side of the screen here, you will see this. And, Reflog, Chris McNeil, he really is one of the best social media presences in the history of social media. Obviously, social media is only a 10-year-old art form. But I mean, McNeil's got to be on the Mount Rushmore, especially for Cleveland sports. But look at the percentage, the likelihood that the Browns are going to win. Right off the bat, they couldn't even get this game going. And look where they are at the bottom of this. This is all in the Ravens' favor. All in the Ravens' favor. The entire game. All of it. And then look, right there in the fourth quarter, Browns go. We missed that extra point. I'll get to that in a second. But that's when it starts getting close. And then finally, the Browns come out ahead. And the Browns win the game 33-31. Just incredible. And I will show you the meme that I'm talking about from McNeil. But I did just want to show you that graphic, the raw graphic here, because the entire game we were playing underwater. We've got to find a way to stop self-inducing these problems. The turnovers, the poor decision making. We can't keep spotting teams. I was at the 49ers game and we spotted the other team. Spotted them, I believe, 10 points right off the bat. I think that was all in the first quarter. So if we're going to be a legitimate Super Bowl contending team, and we are right now, make no mistake, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Denzel Ward in his prime, Nick Chubb obviously injured, but this team has the playmakers in their prime, the Joel Batonios. We're here right now. The time to win is now. We have Deshaun Watson, allegedly a top 3 quarterback, allegedly a top 5 quarterback. Definitely a top 7 quarterback. He's supposed to be someone that can get you over the top. And this was his signature game. Make no mistake about it. Out of all the games he's played as a Cleveland Brown in the past 2 years, this is the number one signature game. We had big wins against the Colts, but remember, Watson came out, looked terrible, threw 2 interceptions. One of them was taken off the board. The concussion protocol, cleared the protocol, but something wasn't right in his mechanics, and the coach was like, yeah, you need to sit down. By the way, speaking of coaches, can we give a little bit of credit to Kevin Stefanski and our offensive line coach and our special teams coach? Now, special teams, we had the muffed punt. That could have cost us the game. On a weaker team, we would have lost because of that. We survived it. But we did have the game-winning kick, but we did miss that extra point. So special teams was a little iffy yesterday, but how about the offensive line? We're down 3 of our top 2 offensive tackles. Jack Conklin was out almost immediately on the season. That was at right tackle. On the left side of the season, left side of the offensive line at tackle, Jedrick Wills Jr. went down last week. Fortunately, he might be back after a few more weeks and we could get him to shore things up. But, I mean, we're playing piecemeal. Then we had DeJuan Jones over there at right tackle. He went down. He was out last week. I don't even remember the guy's name who filled in yesterday, and James Hudson. But that's good that you don't remember his name because they played fairly well. And you know what they were doing? They were running it off the right-hand side of things. So maybe our pass blocking schemes might have suffered a little bit, but we were hustling and we were run blocking. They identified the right side of that line as a strength, and they kept crushing it to Jerome Ford, crushing it to Kareem Hunt. Really not a lot from Pierre Strong. I don't really understand what's happened there. He showed me enough to think he should be getting some more carries on the season, or at least some more screens, a little bit of action. I didn't really see him utilized much. We got the win, I'll take it, but that's a little curious to me. But we need to give credit to offensive line coach, and we need to give credit to Kevin Stefanski. There's no way around finally giving a game ball to our coaching staff because we are piecemealing this roster together. There's been a lot of injuries at running back, at right tackle, at left tackle, at right tackle. Obviously, Denzel Ward got hit on another cheap shot. I'm calling on the NFL to start suspending the players who are taking cheap shots on the Cleveland Browns. If there's a play that you watch, and I'm looking at you, Minkah Fitzpatrick, I'm looking at you yesterday on the Ravens. I'm forgetting who did it. I can see the play. But if you see a play made that you could objectively say, if that guy tried to make that play, that dirty play, that intentional or reckless effort to injure the other team's player, if you wouldn't make that play in practice against your own team, That is a dirty play, and you need to be suspended until or unless that player who's injured is able to return to the field of play. That is the only way we're going to stop this headhunting crap. And maybe this started back when Dirty Dan Sorensen flew across the field on Baker Mayfield's game-winning touchdown pass to Higgins, to Hollywood Higgins. Instead of a touchdown, it was a helmet-to-helmet collision. It should have been targeting. It should have been a spear. It should have been helmet-to-helmet. Whatever you call it, you don't allow that fumble to go through the end zone and reward the Kansas City Chiefs for their dirty play. You need to start protecting the Cleveland players that are getting targeted. And I'm getting really sick of it. I was also getting really sick of the refs at the end of the game. How many defensive holding calls did we see? Over and over and over and over. And probably only half of those were ticky-tack or, okay, I could see it. The other half were trash. So this is another call to the Cleveland Browns. You cannot spot good teams like the 49ers 10 points to start the game. You cannot spot good teams like the Ravens 14 points to start the game. You have to beat the other team and the referees. Don't let it get so close that one or two pass interference or defensive hold. How many times did we stop them on third down ready to get the ball back? Penalty. Browns, we want Lamar to have a few more chances to win this. First down. We got to play dominant. And at the end of that game, when you saw that scrum, that tush push, that Philly special, whatever you want to call it, the rugby play, everybody was in on that. Even Watson was running in to start pushing right at the end of it. A little Elijah Moore was pushing, but Tonio came in. I'll get to that. But let's give the game ball to Bill Callahan for cobbling, I think, not coddling. This is how you coddle. You cobble with, you make gumbo. You open up the fridge, you go, I got some rice, I got some chicken. What are some leftovers? I got some beans and some corn from the other day. You know what? Let's all throw it in a pot. Let's make some gumbo out of it. That's what Bill Callahan and Kevin Stefanski did with the Cleveland Browns yesterday. Game ball to them, okay? I just want that to be on the record right off the jump. So getting back into the game. Oh, shoot. Where did it go? Did I close that window? Doggone it. I think I closed the window. Took me a second to get there. By the way, if you're not following us, we need you to follow us on our YouTube channel. Search The Unhappy Hour. Go to @TheUnhappyHour_ and follow us on X/Twitter, please. Follow The Unhappy Hour in all the places. Also, The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. It's a private group on Facebook. We're north of 2,000 people, and it's private. If we were public, we might be 10x that by now. But just join us, follow us. Answer the security questions, though. Tell us that you're a Cleveland sports fan. So, anyway, after the first quarter, as I said, Browns trailed 14-7. And, you know, I sent my buddy Michael Ray. He and I went to the Colts game a couple of weeks ago. He invited me over. I'm like, I'm going to end up watching it here. Thanks. And after a couple of plays, after a couple of scores, I'm like, buddy, I'm this close to just going outside and working on the house. I got some stucco repair job that I'm doing. I've never done it before, so I've been putting it off. It's one of those where there's little cracks in the stucco, and you get those little roly-polies in there, and you get those little millipedes or centipedes or some ants. So, like, I'm on a quest, a mission to seal up all of the little cracks and behind the gutters and the downspouts. When they took them off before, you can see the gaping hole that was left there. They didn't seal it up. They just put new downspouts on, leaving a big hole. So I'm sealing all this stuff up using the painter's tape so I can peel it off, and it's nice, clean lines. It doesn't quite color match, but you can paint it. But also, if you just let it weather, it will probably balance out in a season or three. But anyway, it's a project that I started over the weekend on Friday, and then a little bit more on Saturday. And I just have it on the mind. I need to complete the task. In fact, this morning I went and bought more materials to finish it, either today or tomorrow, at least this week. So I sent him the text message back. I'm like, man, it looks like we're going to get curb stomped in this game, honestly. And you had to have had the same feeling that we were going to get demolished because of how poorly we started. By the way, if I came in a little hot today, maybe it's because I had a large, hot, original coffee black with 2 added shots of espresso. Not really. Actually, the reason I'm doing it is because Mike Barra is going to take over the studio. You may have seen him on Ancient Aliens, but we do share this studio with Blake Wally for the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media. Follow that show and those channels as well. But I'm trying to finish up because I know he does a show right around noon, so I got about 20 minutes to finish talking to you, maybe 15. I don't want to be uh, stomping on his time slot. But to continue here, at the end of the first half, like I said, we're down only 8 points. So I just kind of gave it. I really almost walked out at halftime and said, let me just do a little bit of work. I said, no, I'm going to sit down, watch some highlights. I'm going to see what we got. I'm going to see what we have because I saw resilience out of the Browns against the Colts. I saw intestinal fortitude against the 49ers. I saw that this team is strong on defense. We can force the 3 and out. We can force the takeaway or the turnover. The difference is the takeaway is you can knock the ball out, you can punch it out, you can go make a great play to take it away, or it's a turnover where they do something dumb. They let it fall, it bounces off of them, and it allows us to catch it. There's a bit of a difference between a turnover and a takeaway. However, this Cleveland Browns defense, led by Defensive Player of the Year candidate, pretty much shoe-in Myles Garrett, they can keep the Browns in any game that we play this year. We have a chance with that defense. Now, we're starting to get a little injured, starting to get some of those defensive secondary injuries. Juan Thornhill went out. Denzel Ward took the helmet to the helmet on a dirty, cheap play. Come on, NFL, protect us. But we have a chance to stay in it, and I've seen it live. I was there at the 49ers game. I saw that we're learning how to win. It's not that we're learning how to win. We know how to win now. We've done it at least 3 times this year. And I expect nothing more than the brute strength and energy that we saw on that scrum, on that push, on that rugby, fighting for those last few yards right before Dustin Hopkins, before the quarterback kneel, and then Dustin Hopkins got a chance to win the game on the field goal, and he converted. I'm seeing the effort, the intensity. I'm going to get to this because what happened in the third quarter was telling. Came out kind of excited, only 8 points down, only to what happens? 2.5 minutes in, Odell freaking Beckham Jr. hasn't really done much. Yes, he did help the Rams win a Super Bowl. Granted, we got to give him that. I was super excited when he came to the Browns, but it never really materialized. God, you know what? Maybe this espresso is doing it. I feel like I'm Ben Shapiro or something today. Speaking in fast, kind of like I'm one of those records. You turn to everything sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Okay, I'm going to take a breath. But Odell Beckham Jr., I was excited for him to come to the Browns. He didn't really materialize into much. He did help the Rams win a Super Bowl. If OBJ wasn't there, maybe the Bengals won that Super Bowl. He kind of was the difference there. But 2.5 minutes into the second half, that's exactly what happened. Odell Beckham Jr. caught a pass and on a slanting route, took it to the house. Really kind of a blown coverage, and our defender was there, and he missed that immediate tackle. He went for like a power hit stick move. Like if you're playing Madden, you flip this and you put your head down trying to knock could have tackled him there if he had better form and better angle. Instead, took it 40 yards for a touchdown. All of a sudden, this game that was close, you just once again kind of hang your head. You go, oh, come on. Is this really happening? Are we really done? I thought we had a chance here. Browns trailed 24-9 at that point. Goes from 8 points to 15 points. That gets brutal. But this is where the Browns take over, okay? We have a 17 play. Think about 17 plays in a row. How gassed, how exerted that defense of the Ravens. Browns and the Ravens both have very good defenses. Browns are better. But the Ravens are very good. But we took it 17 plays, 75 yards, all the way down it took more than 10 minutes. And we punched it in with a Kareem Hunt 3-yard touchdown run. Bam. Browns are back to within 7 because we went for the 2-point conversion. And Deshaun Watson ran it in for the 2. So instead of 8, now we're down to a clean 7-point game. 17-24, we're trailing. But like in a lot of prize fights, it's back and forth, give and take, punch and block. The Ravens had a 7-play, 12-yard drive. Not a lot of space to go. Didn't take them long because you know why? We had a flub. We had a turnover from our kick returner. God, we've got to clean that up. We've really got to clean this up. We got rid of Donovan Peoples-Jones because he wasn't doing much. He was scared as hell to touch that ball. Terrified to touch that ball. Bro, just throw your hand up and catch it. Pretend they're not there. I was on a game show when I lived out in Los Angeles. It was called Catch 21 on the Game Show Network. and you're up there and it's kind of hot and you're wearing a suit and you're like just kind of warm and a bit sweaty and these lights. I mean, it was like you were staring down 10 semi trucks on a freeway. It was just lights. It was nearly blinding. And you got Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Alfonso Ribeiro is the host. And some girl named Mickey. She's the other one turning the cards. You get your trivia question right and you get a card. You try to catch your own 21 or bust your opponents out. That's a studio audience. But you have to just find a way to tunnel vision. You have to just forget where you are and just focus on the one task at hand. And yes, you could get hit. You could get lit up. But your job as a punt returner, if you don't determine that you have a little bit of room to catch and run at a few, and they've gotten really close, you put your hand up and you just make the catch. We've got to level up on that. I don't know what it's going to take. But that was our flub. That's why they only had 12 yards to go. It led to a Gus Edwards touchdown. Browns, instead of trailing by 7, now we're down a full 14, 17-31 in the fourth quarter. So game over, right? Time to go cut the grass. Time to go work on that stucco. See, now I got to take a picture of the old stucco, then take it to Home Depot and see if they can color match it, because this is paintable stucco. So I'm going to try to paint the new stuff to match and maybe feather it in, see if I can get it to balance out. These are the things I think about. In the fourth quarter, I'm like, oh, well, crap, we're down 14. But I didn't get off the couch, but I was thinking about work. I didn't, though. And it's a good thing that I didn't. The Browns then took it 6 plays, 75 yards, culminating in Deshaun Watson rolling out to the left. You might have seen this in the Cardinals game last week. Deshaun Watson rolled left, and he did this shot put touch pass. I'm telling you, I said it last week. Go to the videotape. I said, if you throw this same pass against the Ravens, they don't miss the interception, they get the interception. Watson must have heard me. He must have internally known after watching that game footage. He must have known instinctively, if I do this play again, I better be smarter about it. And he did. Because instead of riding it out and running through it, he faked like he was going to run it. And at the last second, he kind of gave it the push pass to Elijah Moore for a touchdown, which is great because we got to get this guy involved. We have very few playmakers on this offense. Now, Njoku's pretty solid. Obviously, Amari Cooper is consistent. But regardless, that was a really good play from Deshaun Watson, who went, I believe, 14 of 14 in the second half. Unbelievable second half. Njoku missed one that could have kept the chains running in the first half, that could have led to a touchdown. So I'm not going to put all of it on Watson like he was a complete bum in the first half. We didn't really get bailed out. When even Njoku's dropping easy in his hands, first down passes, okay, it's not all on Deshaun Watson. You may, if you've been in the unhappy hour for a long time, think that I've been unfair to Deshaun Watson. I have not been unfair to Deshaun Watson. I've been critiquing the performances he's given me. And finally, he gave us a fantastic second half. 14 of 14, 0 mistakes, culminating this Elijah Moore touchdown. So then after that, right after that, Lamar Jackson gets the ball back. What happens? Big guy gets his hands up on a pass. Ball's deflected. Greg Newsome, 34-yard, pick six return. Dustin Hopkins misses. He misses it. This was going to tie the game. Everything changed. Misses the damn extra point. This is another failure from the special teams. First, we had the dropped punt. Then we had the missed extra point. Not even a field goal. Not a 60-yarder, by the way. I wish we would have went for that 60-yard field goal at the half. Maybe a 60, 61. Instead, we brought in P.J. Walker to throw a Hail Mary that was too short. I don't know. I criticized Stefanski heavily there. Hopkins has been very good from deep. Let him kick it. Yeah, well, then it would have left them with 2 seconds and a Hail Mary. Yeah, but Hail Marys are such a low percentage. I'd rather go for the 3 because it came down to a 2-point game, a 1-point game, or a tie game. That could have been the difference between this, a win and a loss here. But huge play from the Browns defense, stopped their 2-play, 2-yard drive, 41 seconds in. Greg Newsome runs it in, but then they shank the extra point. Browns go down at that point, 12 plays, 58 yards. And that was the one where Jerome Ford did what you saw Njoku do earlier. I forget what quarter that was, maybe the second or third quarter, I think. And he caught the pass and he turned and he dragged 2 or 3 or 4 Ravens 20 yards upfield. The Browns simply wanted it more. If you're in our social media feed, you'll see where I said it to Pantera. I made a little reel out of it on Facebook. Respect. They were fighting. They were all pushing. Everybody joined. And the Ravens were exhausted. They were exhausted from that 17-play, 75-yard drive. They were exhausted from the Cleveland Browns dominating this game in the trenches. Fighting. Dominated them at the end. I'm trying to share this screen with you here because I want to buzz through this. Oh, that's what's going on. What is all this? Okay. Here we go. Let me share this screen. Dustin Hopkins with a huge kick to win the game, walk off, game winner, 40-yard field goal. Browns win. No time left on the clock. 33-31. Huge game. The Browns are right at the top of the AFC North now. Massive opportunity against the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up. Huge opportunity coming up this week. So here it is, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. Follow us on Facebook, would you? If you like the show and you're interested, send me a message. We have these Ohio-shaped wooden coasters, a 4-coaster set, or the circular, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, wooden coasters with our beer mug logo. $30 donation. We'll send those out to you for free. So yeah, this was the play I was talking about. There's Jerome Ford. And everybody, Posick, Batonio, even Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman. Everybody's in on this. That's the other guy, 64. He's the new one. I'm forgetting his name off the top. But look at the energy. Look at the fight. Wyatt Teller's like, let's go, Hudson. Let's go. Man, that was exciting. Yeah, you gotta love Batonio getting that huge shove in at the end. Straight power from the big guys. Yes, Mark. Yeah, so this is what you're missing if you're not joining the Unhappy Hour. It's a tough week to be a Harbaugh. 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 Whether it's John or Jim, y'all both suck. Of course, the Michigan Harbaugh suspended. Watson, yeah, I want to say Watson, this is his signature win as a Cleveland Brown, obviously, easily. We had signature wins on the season against the Colts and the 49ers, but those are both with P.J. Walker. This was Watson's signature game this year. No, not the Titans game. That was a clearly inferior team. He had a good game, not a great game. Watson had a not so good first half. Maybe not as terrible as some people are saying, but it was bad. Not good. But then a very good, dare I say excellent, because he made it happen with his legs, improvising. He went down and got the win when it counted. But yes, he's injured. He was with the walking boot. We'll keep our eyes peeled on that. He was tough. He got injured about 3 different plays on 3 different areas. That one where he stopped on the sideline, he was kind of like in that pose. I feel like he was stretching his hamstring out there. I felt like he tweaked his hamstring, but he didn't want to let on what was going on. They say that Jim Brown, he used to get up really slow after every hit, after every tackle, even if he was okay, because he didn't want the opposing team to know when he got his bell rung so they could see a weakness. So he got up like he was almost injured and very slow every play so that he wouldn't have a tell. But yeah, Watson, I saw him take 3 different ankle, maybe a knee, maybe a hip flexor, maybe a hamstring injury. Tough. Amanda's saying that dude's more fragile than Kevin Love. Yeah. And then Tim's asking if he's hurt or injured. Okay. You know, and that's why I really don't want to see him running, but I digress. But yeah, here, watch this. Watch this block. Bam! That's from our rookie, Cedric Tillman. Now watch this one. There's a spin move. Bam! There goes Wyatt Teller knocking him over. Now this one. Bam! That's then Joker. What? 5, 10, 15, 20 yards downfield carrying defenders, and he is excited. Then look at this bull rush, just right up through your face. And here it is, Jerome Ford at the end, chugging, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Go, 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 push. That is how you win football games. And God bless it if it hasn't been a long time since I've seen. Pow! It's been a long time since the Browns have been good like this. But I'm here for it. It's about dang time. There it is again. There's the Wyatt Teller. Plah! Sit down, sir. So here we are. Here are the standings. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, all with 3 losses. All with 3 losses on the season. Browns are going to play Pittsburgh this Sunday. Baltimore plays Cincy on a short week. This Thursday, go Cincy in that game. And then if we beat Pittsburgh, we'll be in first place in the AFC North. It's doable. So that's exciting. Animals. They're animals, and I love it, says, who said that? Dan Vogan. Yep, Sal is saying we just need to beat the Steelers at home, and I think Thursday Joe Burrow will avenge the loss to the Texans. Oh, God, that is gross. Who posted this? Sean, buddy. Ew, goodness. Okay, this Joe Burrow thing is pretty cool. Let me just scroll through here, give you some of the highlights. David says he's been critical about Watson, so he has to give credit where credit is due. He played well today and last week. He's proved me wrong, and I don't mind eating that crow. We're not wrong. Let's just. He hasn't shown us very much. He's showing us a little bit more, and we're changing our tune on him. All I'm saying is let's be fair, and we have been fair. Jeff said I just about stroked out when I saw this post from you, of all people. And Mike said he sucked in the first half. He didn't get a lot of help, and he didn't look good. But some of that's on the coaching. If you're going to script your first few plays, just go ahead. This is funny from Jenny. Ravens fans still sitting in front of their TVs like, huh? Yeah. Yeah. How about it? By the way, did you know for 20 years, every Major League Baseball's team schedule was handmade by a husband and wife duo? They made it by hand? That doesn't even make sense. Not really a football story, but it's in the Unhappy Hour Sports Show group. So, yeah, this is a great image here from Zach Wilson. This is that final scrum. Look at this. They are off the cliff. This is Cleveland. This is Sparta. On this team, we fight for that inch. Don't make a Deshaun Watson massage joke, please. Yeah. That'd be a good time to do that. But yeah, I mean, so we're sharing basketball stories and baseball stories in between. This is me saying, why didn't Kev kick that 60-yarder? That could have been a 5-point game. What the heck? Josh said, yeah, if he misses it, gives Lamar a Hail Mary attempt. It would have been close, you know. And of course, this is a request for you to join our Strictly Browns group on Facebook. Strictly Browns, powered by the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Please join that. So yeah, those are just a few things I wanted to show you from the group. Harbaugh. Yeah, Harbaugh needs to go to the big house. Now that they're saying that there's maybe RICO and gambling stuff going on. So we'll see. Yeah, Earl, come on back. I said, welcome back, Earl. Trying to give up on the team after 55 years. No, we just got to hang in there. Yeah, I did say that Terry Bradshaw was having a pretty tough time reading the highlights today. And they kind of chimed in. So was Lee Corso. Keith asking, why does Elijah Moore always seem to run backwards? Okay, that's fair. But yeah, there's several other things I was trying to show you. Video of Connor Stallions and Michigan sidelines reacting to OSU calls pre-snap. Look at these cheaters. Look at them. Look at these cheaters. You didn't beat us. You cheated us. Anyway, I got some more great stuff, but You'll have to follow us to see it. Some of it was posted in X. Follow us at the unhappy hour underscore. Do the search on YouTube, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. Follow us there. And I'm just super excited for this. I'm going to get out of the studio so Mike can take over and run his program. Victory Monday, 6-3 feels good. Yeah, we could have won against the Steelers. Yeah, we could have won against the Seahawks. And yeah, if DTR, our backup quarterback, was remotely prepared for the game against the Ravens, maybe we could have beat them the first time. Maybe we could be undefeated. But you know what? We also had last minute heroics and 3 wins. So maybe we could have won 3. Maybe we could have lost 3. We are what our record says we are. And right now, we're clawing. You can see the heart, the hustle, the intestinal fortitude, the drive, the anger, the ambition, the focus, the tenacity. The Browns simply wanted it more. The Browns went out and took that victory from the Ravens. They did not accept how it started off, and they fought back. This team is resilient. The defense is legitimate. Our kicker has solidified. Our quarterback appears to be warming up. Let's look out for these injuries. Hopefully, we can get some offensive linemen back. Jed Will's coming in a few weeks. Maybe DeJuan Jones coming back. Keeping an eye on Denzel Ward, of course. And then Deshaun Watson with his ankle and his boot. But this is a scrappy team. I mean, are the Browns the best in the NFL? We're top 10. We're right in the hunt for top 1 in the best, toughest division in football, the AFC North, by far the toughest division. I'm very proud of this team. But yeah, our question of the day is, imagine the world that the Browns go to the Super Bowl, but it has to be against one of 2 quarterbacks. Would you rather face Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or would you rather face Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings? It's a fun question to think about, because Josh Dobbs is what they've won 5 in a row. He's won the last 2. Vikings are in the hunt now. And Baker Mayfield's only a half game out. And it's not because of him. Past 3 games, he's thrown 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And his defense let him down last week against C.J. Stroud, not him. Baker went and won that. He got that game go-ahead touchdown. His defense let up at the final seconds. Really reminds me of the past 2 years on Cleveland, to be honest, with Joe Woods. But who would you rather face in the Super Bowl? I want the Browns to go to the Super Bowl. I want the Browns to win the Super Bowl. Who would you like to defeat, and why? That's our question of the day. I'm going to sign out. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Peace.